Hi everyone, this is Dr. Nitin Chhoda and welcome to this episode of Ignition Time. Thank you so much for being a viewer and subscriber. I again want to wish our viewers and subscribers happy Thanksgiving. I hope you have a happy, healthy and safe Thanksgiving, hopefully with some family members around you. In this video, I'm going to give you the good news that is emerging today, that has emerged this week. There is another side to this story, but first let me emphasize the good news. Let's start with some of the key highlights here. The Trump administration is now allowing a transition of power, as you probably know, which is a standard but a critical part of the American tradition, which now means that President-elect Joe Biden, who is scheduled to become president in 56 days, the inauguration is on the 20th of January, in 56 days, is now able to get the presidential daily briefing. He is receiving the presidential daily briefing. Basically, it's an in-depth glimpse at the world and it's prepared by our intelligence community. President Trump did indeed facilitate this. So that is where things stand as far as the presidential briefings are concerned. Also, a bipartisan spending deal is indeed coming together. So the funding of the government will continue past the 11th of December. We will not have a government which is shut down. Now remember, that is in 16 days from today. And the two sides, the Democrats and the Republicans, have indeed agreed to the top line spending numbers. As you probably know, the stock market has hit all-time highs this week. It's cooling off a little bit today, but it hit 30,000 for the first time ever. We have 3 vaccines that are scheduled to arrive. And right now, I believe both sides, I mean, the Trump administration and the Biden administration, are working on making sure the logistics of the delivery of the vaccine are handled so that it can quickly make its way through the system. Whether you take the vaccine or not, the rapid availability of the vaccine, the last mile delivery of the vaccine, in other words, not just from the pharmaceutical company to, let's say, a Walgreens or a CVS, but actually to you. That is the thing that is being focused on right now. Also, here's something interesting. President Trump and Vice President Mike Pence have nothing on their public schedule today, but it was reported that the president might join Rudy Giuliani for a Republican hearing on voter fraud in Pennsylvania. It seems that was called off because Rudy Giuliani was exposed to a second person who has tested positive. So the president is no longer going to be hanging out with his friend Rudy Giuliani today. And here's some reporting from Axios, and this was actually revealed by Jonathan Swan, who's actually interviewed President Trump. Pretty incredible interview. You can Google Jonathan Swan President Trump interview. Pretty incredible interview with Axios. It seems that the president is going to pardon Mike Flynn, and this is going to be the first in a series of pardons that we are going to see between today and January 20th. President Trump has told confidants he plans to pardon his former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn, who pleaded guilty in December 2017 to lying to the FBI about his Russian contacts. And it appears that this is going to be the first in several pardons that we are about to see. And Janet Yellen is expected to be the next US Treasury Secretary. I've reported this on our channel. She's not much of a politician. She's just, she's a straight shooter. But it does appear that the 74-year-old will be the first woman to lead the United States Treasury. Remember, she was chairman of the Federal Reserve. She is expected to get bipartisan support. But, there'll be individuals who don't vote for her. But this is a good thing because she is in favor of more stimulus, and she knows, having been the head of the Federal Reserve, what it takes to be able to manage money and manage the economy. So as you can see, it's clear the US economy, as far as the stock market is concerned, is doing well. Not only that, home sales are booming. In fact, home prices are rising, and this has a lot to do with the historically low interest rates. Because it's cheaper to borrow money, home sales are rising. In my neck of the woods, the threshold for getting a loan, a Freddie Fannie loan, is $750,000. Here's what that means. If I was to decide that I wanted to borrow up to $750,000, I could do so at less than 3%. If I wanted to borrow more than $750,000, I would have to pay more than 3%. But think about this for a second. If an individual can borrow up to $750,000 at under 3%, by the way, it hasn't been that low for decades, for a long time, 40 or 50 years at least. Now think about this. Normally when you buy a home, you put down 25%. let's assume for a second that a family has been saving money for a long time, for maybe 10 years, 15 years or so, in order to be able to buy a home, live the American dream. If you can put down 25% and if you can borrow up to $750,000, what that automatically essentially means is that your affordability, you can afford to buy a home worth $1 million in my neck of the woods, because you would put down 25% and you would borrow the 750. I actually are looking to move into a bigger home because our kids are growing. My mother lives with me. My 75-year-old mother lives with me. So this means we have two parallel economies. What this actually means is that individuals who invest money in the stock market, who buy homes, are doing well. Individuals who have jobs, who have savings, are doing well. But there's a flip side to this. On your screen, you'll see a tweet from Heather Long from the Washington Post. She writes, in short, the K-shaped recovery is getting worse. The Dow Jones is over 30,000. This actually happened yesterday. Today it's cooled off a bit. And by the way, the Dow Jones has been up 62% since the lows of March 2020. We haven't seen such an astonishing rise in the Dow Jones ever. Booming home sales, as Heather points out. But on the other hand, we have 26 million of our fellow Americans going hungry. I did do another video on our channel today where I talked about 1 in 4 individuals across the country who are out of a job with children actually reporting that they had little to no food to eat in the past 7 days. Just astonishing when you think about this. More than 20 million individuals on unemployment, and more than half of those 20 million individuals are on the PUA and the PUC program, which is scheduled to be completely eliminated at the end of this year unless there is legislation for extension. Rising jobless claims. This is the big one. New numbers came out from the Department of Labor, and the number of individuals who are jobless is actually rising. You'll see this headline on your screen from Politico. Jobless claims rise to 778,000 as the pandemic worsens. Most economists warn that without more government aid, without more stimulus, the hardships will deepen for jobless individuals. Jobless claims in the prior week was 748,000. Now they are 30,000 to 778,000. So more and more people need jobless aid, need unemployment insurance. More and more individuals need help. People are going hungry. In fact, there are thousands of cars lining up at food banks across the country. This is just astonishing. In fact, I'll show you a chart on your screen right now which shows you where Americans don't have enough food to eat. This represents individuals and households through November 9th, those who reported that they sometimes or often did not have enough food to eat in the past 7 days. This is nationwide, and you see the darker colors, in other words, those bolder colors on the right side of your screen represent a higher degree of hunger, and the lighter shades of gray represent less hunger. But still, there's a lot of hunger across the country. Take a look at places like Houston and certain parts in the southern part of the country that have a high degree of hunger. I did do another detailed video talking about the problem, the hunger problem in our country, which is sad for me to report, and which is ironic considering that right now it's the day before Thanksgiving. So that's where things stand, everybody. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. You'll also find the links to all of our resources in the description section below. That's it, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you learned something new from this video. My name is Dr. Nitin Chhoda with Ignition Time. This is some information about me. If you're new to our channel, I really appreciate you watching. If you learned something new, please consider gently igniting that like button, because the name of our channel is Ignition Time. Please click subscribe and enable notifications so you can become a part of our community going forward. We release videos at 2 p.m. East Coast time. That's 2 p.m. East Coast time on most days of the week. Get your cell phone out, send a text message with the word ignition or with the word time to 70,000, that's 70000, and you'll get added to SMS alerts list going forward. If you want, you can also get added to our email list. Simply go to ignitiontime.com/alerts. That's ignitiontime.com/alerts, and you'll get added to our email list going forward. So definitely become a part of our email list or our SMS list, and you can opt out of either the text messages or the emails at any point in time that you want. Now, sometimes YouTube does not always send out notifications on time, so there's a very simple solution. All you have to do is simply bookmark youtube.com/ignition time. That's youtube.com/ignition time. This way you'll be able to visit the homepage of our channel anytime you want and watch the videos anytime you want, so you're not dependent on YouTube notifications. Speaking of notifications, make sure to follow us on Instagram. Our Instagram handle is ignition_time. Become a part of our Instagram community, which is growing very, very rapidly, and you can get exclusive content from us on Instagram. You can also follow us on Twitter. Our Twitter handle is also ignition_time. You will get real-time breaking news alerts on Twitter. You'll get them instantly as the news happens. So definitely follow us on Twitter and engage with us on Twitter. As always, if you learned something new from this video, please consider clicking the like button. Please subscribe. Please enable notifications. Please also share this video with friends and family, because that would be your vote of confidence in us and all the effort that goes into this channel behind the scenes. That tells a YouTube algorithm you found this content helpful. You'll always get the links to all of our resources in the description section below. We always do that. And finally, and most importantly, please comment below and engage with our community. I'm proud of our community because our community is growing, it's respectful, it's bipartisan, it's intelligent, and you can engage in a healthy debate with your fellow citizens. Thank you so much for watching. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next episode of Ignition Time. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.